Welcome back to training camp tonight. With all the competition at the cornerback position, the Broncos decided Wednesday night that they would trade their 2018 third-round pick in Isaac Yiadom to the New York Giants in exchange for a 2021 seventh-round pick. With a little bit more on the exit of Isaac Yiadom and who impressed Steve Atwater at practice yesterday, let's send it over to Matt Boyer.
Thank you, Alexis, down here at 27 Hall of Fame Plaza with the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater. Steve, I know there have been plenty of interesting storylines this week, and the plot thickened a little bit when we had our first trade, Isaac Yiadom getting traded to the Giants for a seventh-round pick. When you think about the defensive backs room as it stands and that competition for that nickel corner, that, you know, there's a couple of guys that are going to be up for that position. What comes to mind first when you think about that battle?
Well, first off, there's quite a bit of competition in that cornerback room, and unfortunately, Isaac Yiadom wasn't able to fit in those top three slots, and with the Broncos drafting Michael Ojemudia in the third round, they feel comfortable enough to trade away Isaac Yiadom, and I think it's a good move for both parties.
Isang Bassi, Devontae Bosby, Devontae Harris, you mentioned Ojemudia. Is there anybody that has stood out to you in that foursome, or do you think it's still pretty even? I know Ojemudia has been hurt.
Yeah, Ojemudia has been hurt. I did like him prior to him getting hurt. He was looking really good. But I think Devontae Bosby, I think at the end of the day, he'll probably be that third corner behind A.J. Bouye and Bryce Callahan.
When you think about the fourth preseason game that we typically see, Coach Fangio said Friday's practice at Empower Field at Mile High is going to kind of be that last-minute evaluation for this team that we typically see during a fourth preseason game. How much can that moment or that type of atmosphere change the coaches and the front office's mind? Or do you think it's already pretty much made up, or do you still think there's some room to kind of sneak in there?
Yeah, there still may be some room. It's going to be different evaluations for the coaches because the guys aren't going to be taking guys to the ground. So they don't really know how much these guys are going to give in terms of their effort. They can't really see the full effort that the guys give. And then the guys, on the other hand, they're not going to be able to take guys to the ground, so they can't really show exactly what they would do. It's a tough situation, but I think hopefully somebody will make a big impact in a day. But they've been doing it all camp long.
Typically, we see the starters with the baseball hats. They got the tennis shoes on. That fourth preseason game, they're sitting back, relaxing. Is there still some more evaluating to do with these starters, do you think? Or do you think it's going to be that atmosphere where we see the guys just kind of kicking back a little bit?
Well, some of the guys may go, but I would imagine the majority of them, Von Miller, he'll be kicking back. The guys who are the kind of stars got it set in stone, Justin Simmons, those guys, they probably won't do much. But other guys, they still may get in there and mix it up a little bit, especially they don't want to get embarrassed by a guy that's trying to make the squad on the other side of the ball.
You liked that fourth preseason game, didn't you? Just like, because you never had anything to worry about that last preseason game. So
we used to spend a little bit of that last preseason game to get ready for the regular season. Yes, we used to play like first half and I think the first series of the second half.
So things have changed a little bit.
Oh, man, things changed.
Let's get to your A-list. Let's go big picture because this is our final time on Hall of Fame Plaza. Who do you got on the offensive side? An MVP, A-lister for the entirety of camp.
Yeah, I got to go back. I mean, I've gone to this well a couple times, but I got to go Drew Lock.
Good pick.
And I know near the end of camp, some of the practices weren't great, but I expect that during practice. I don't expect him to be just perfect every single practice, but just his demeanor, his leadership, and his grasp of the offense this early still is impressive to me. And I think once they pare the playbook down some, he's going to come out and execute extremely well. And like I said, Broncos country is going to be in for a surprise.
On the defensive side of the ball now, the defense has played great in most facets. So you've got a lot of candidates, but who did you end up selecting?
I had to go with the safety position.
There we go.
Justin Simmons, he's got an interception out there yesterday, 2 days ago. He's just getting interception after interception. I'm looking for this to be a big year out of Justin Simmons. He's had a great camp. He's doing all the things that the coaches want him to do in terms of helping guys get lined up, being a leader on the field, being in the right place at the right time. Him and K-Jack, they're going to do some special things back there. And with the two cornerbacks, being really their first year playing, they're going to be the glue, I think, that binds their secondary.
What's different about him, do you think, this year? Because Justin Simmons is a great player. We know that. He was a great player last year, but it seems like he's taken that next step. What do you think it is that's kind of elevated his game so far?
Well, I think that, one, he's the older guy. He's the oldest guy in the room now, and he's letting his voice be heard a little bit more, whereas in the past, Chris Harris Jr. was here, had other guys who were in that room whose voice was a little louder than his. Now he's the man, and he's showing everybody why he deserves to be paid as one of the greatest safeties in the game.
We heard earlier this week from Steve Foley that Justin Simmons is one of his favorite players to watch. I'm sure there's a little safety bias there, but nevertheless, Steve, you had some great guests. This is the final time, as we mentioned, on Hall of Fame Plaza. So quickly, just sum up camp for us. How much fun did you have? And like I said, the guests were great. You did a great job all camp.
No, we had a great time, and it's good for Broncos country to get a chance to see some of the guys who've played in the past and get a chance to see what they're up to now, see they're all doing well, and how much love they still have for the Broncos. That's always special, just to see, man, it's still a community. Broncos country is still strong, and the Broncos alumni are a big part of it.
You want this stage back again next year?
Oh, I hope so. Yes, I love it.
We'll see what we can do for Broncos country next year, but that'll do it for us today on Hall of Fame Plaza. But when we come back, the Broncos country tonight guys are putting a bow on training camp.